to the MVP standings. As I think about my ballot and what I'm looking at right now with several weeks left to play, Hurts is officially number one on my ballot, followed by Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, then Trent Williams, because to me, Trent Williams is actually the most valuable player on that incredible Niners team. And then lastly, Lamar Jackson. The 5-touchdown performance by Jalen Hurts in yesterday's really gotta have it game versus another very good team. It propels Hurts to me to the top of the MVP. There's only one team with one loss in football, and it's Jalen Hurts' Philadelphia Eagles. Also, LeSean McCoy's Philadelphia Eagles. Don't forget the Rock 2-5. Can't never forget that. Eagles all-time rushing leader LeSean Shady McCoy.
Oh, man. Thought I was in the end zone for real.
Shady, is Jalen Hurts running away with the MVP award?
Now, this award, though, here for a second, it's about the quarterbacks, obviously.
Sure.
If you just ask me for overall, the MVP, I think it should go to a guy like Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
This is my opinion. And I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, so you know I really mean it. But if we just talk about the quarterbacks like what we're normally every year it's about, then yeah. I mean, for God's sake, what are we, 9-1? Oh, we're 10-1 now. 10-1? I mean, come on.
For God's sake.
Every time we need a gotta-have-it moment, who do you count on? Where are you looking to go?
One.
You going to Jalen Hurts, right? Losing the game, got straight to Josh Allen and them Bills. They look pretty good, a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Then Josh look good to you?
Yeah, very good.
Yes, he did.
Okay. And guess what? Wasn't good enough. Jalen Hurts got him.
That's what's crazy.
And that's the thing about Jalen Hurts is like, it doesn't matter what the game looks like. He always talks about it. Let the main thing be the main thing, James Jones.
Winning.
James Jones.
Come on now. So if you ask me who should be the MVP, if it's not just all about the quarterbacks, it should be Tyreek Hill. But if you're talking about just how it's been going for the last couple of years, it definitely should be Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, this is going to come down to best record. Because stats-wise, he shouldn't be up there. But he's 10-1. Mm-hmm. He's beat Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
On a game-winning drive.
Mm-hmm.
He just beat Josh Allen.
He did.
On a game-winning drive.
Mm-hmm.
He has willed his team to 10 victories this year, however you want to slice and dice it. He is running away with this thing just like he ran in the end zone to seal that game against the Buffalo Bills. I ain't never been a Josh Allen fan like that yesterday rooting against the Eagles. But
why are you going against us?
But I became a Jalen Hurts fan because that was big time. To see what he did against Kansas City to win the game, and then to see what he did yesterday. Not playing well, first 3 quarters, don't worry about it. I'll finish this thing off. He running away with it.
Were you rooting against the Eagles because you didn't want Slim to be in today?
You already know. You already know. I don't got nothing against none of the Philly players, but I do got something against Slim.
I want to see that bird.
I do got something against Slim. So you already know. You already know what type of fan I am this year.
James don't be hating like that. Like, it's about Slim.
You already know. So I'm bang, bang, 9 again this week.
It's weird. And now, me and Slim got a good relationship.
Yeah.
Every time we score, I be like, McCoy! I'm in the bar.
See, you want Slim. You want Slim to come.
Joy, is Hurts running away with the MVP?
I think he is. I think we have to start putting the MVP conversation in a bit of a silo because we get attached to the numbers from the year before, and that can distort the nuance of what's happening this season. There really hasn't been over-the-top statistical performances from quarterbacks consistently throughout this season. That's normally where at this point in the year we're like, listen, this guy is so far ahead because ain't nobody catching this amount of touchdowns or no one's going to catch this touchdown-interception ratio along with the wins. This year, we're much closer.
Yeah.
There's a lot more parity this year. And there's a lot more parity amongst quarterback play. We know Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. But we're talking about Jalen Hurts as the MVP, not just because of their statistics, but because of the outcome. And I think that we can step out, kind of zoom out a little bit, forget about the statistics of last year or the year before that or what it's looked like in the past and focus on this year. And focus on the word valuable.
Yeah.
That makes things difficult sometimes when we're talking about this award because we do know that the quarterback is automatically the most valuable player on the field. But does that mean that they are the most valuable player this season? I like that you had Trent Williams up there. I think he should be the only person in the conversation for the Niners for MVP this year. Mm-hmm. They proved that. I don't think that it will go to a player that's...
Clear.
It is Monday. It is Monday. I don't think that I think this year has been the closest year as of late to have a conversation about a player not being the quarterback win the MVP and it be a very real conversation. But Jalen Hurts has shown, whatever which way he needs to, sometimes statistically, sometimes in a knockdown fight, every which way that not only is he the reason that they're winning games, but he is coming through in the end. So I think he's really he's running away with it to me because he's really constituting what the word valuable for this season means.
To me, because I'm with you, Shady, and James, enjoy everything everybody said. I love the conversation and the dialogue today. Hopefully will be enthralling for the next 90 minutes or so. Jalen Hurts' value, it's not even just statistics. Like, again, I don't know who would have won that game at the quarterback position for the Eagles starting in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
At the point in which the weather was bad, Josh Allen was playing out of his mind. Out of his mind. Eagles could not get anything going offensively. And then Jalen Hurts, somehow, some way, you overcome at the end of the game. I'm hesitant to give Jalen Hurts all the credit, obviously. No. But, Shady, I couldn't even overlook the moment when Jake Elliott kicks that 59-yard field goal in the atrocious weather. And Jalen Hurts, you cut your shot at him on the bench, he's just like this. Yep. Just disappointed for several reasons. Number one, they shouldn't have had so many penalties in the first place to put him in that position. But then the mental fortitude that Jalen Hurts displayed after that kick, when you then go into overtime, Josh Allen and them, they don't do enough to end the game. That's the Jalen Hurts shot I'm talking about. Just disgusted after this 59-yard field goal when everybody else is elated. The mental fortitude it took James Jones to go down the field in overtime and score, put the team on your back. We will show y'all in a moment what the Chargers did versus zero pressure to lose the game. Eagles saw zero pressure at the end of the game. Jalen Hurts, QB draw, touchdown, blouses.
Yeah, and it was impressive because, I mean, it was his legs, it was his arm. Like, it was zero mistakes. So when you really watch a quarterback, like, put together a drive, Jalen Hurts made all the right plays. The first play of the drive was a QB draw. Ball in your hands, let's get this drive started. QB draw. Next play, pass to Devontae Smith. Next play, pass to Devontae Smith. Then a QB draw to finish the game. And then even the secondary didn't even want to tackle him. I mean, they shine away from the tackle. But it's crazy because Jalen Hurts is starting to be put into that Patrick Mahomes conversation when you talk about clutch. Because when he got the ball, I'm like, he about to score. Like, that's just how I felt about it, like he about to score. So, you know, big-time drive by him, big-time win.
How much does it bother y'all two, you, Shady, and you, Joy, that at the end, not at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the Eagles are winning, but Jalen Hurts still doesn't look the part. Which is the wildest thing. Like, to me as a defender, I'm watching the game both as an analyst, but I'm also watching it as a former football player. And I'm like, Jalen Hurts don't look that good. No. He just doesn't. You look at Josh Allen, and you're like, oh, my God. You look at Hurts, you're like, but he ends up with 5 touchdowns, Shady. Eagles win. 10-1, Joy. How much does it bother you that he doesn't look the part, but he still gets it done?
It doesn't bother me at all because I don't think that this is a beauty contest. And they used to say that about Brady all the time. And yet he would just sit there, boom, 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 win the game. We saw him coming out of the draft and the combine. Wasn't nothing to get excited about. Winning and how you win, and people still say this now that he wasn't the best athlete. Who cares? Who cares? This ain't LA Fitness. Oh, I can live more than you, bro. I can throw the football over the mountains, bro. Do you win games? Do you win big-time games? Do you go drive down the field in terrible weather and clutch and you have multiple penalties and the other quarterback on the other side of the ball has been playing unbelievable all game and you still go win? That's what I care about. So I've never been caught up in that when it comes to quarterbacks. Do you win? Jalen Hurts is an athlete. Jalen Hurts is physically capable. He's physically capable of having big statistical games. He's physically capable of winning games only with his legs. When it's bad, when it's up, when it's good, when it's down, that's the identity of this team, and that's why he's perfect for this team. I think there are a few other guys in the league that might be able to do what Jalen Hurts did in that moment, like Patrick Mahomes. Yep. And given the absolute perfect circumstances, I think Joe Burrow has that type of it in him as well. It's not a very long list. It's not a very long list.
No Lamar?
But I'll put Lamar in there, too. But, again, still, that's 4 guys. Yeah. It's not a lot. What Jalen Hurts does is he wins games. It doesn't have to be beautiful. And at one point or another, who cares about that? Because we're going to talk about guys that have put up big statistics all throughout their careers, all throughout this show today, and they're not translating to wins.
I like this, man. We're getting comparisons from Patrick Mahomes and all these great quarterbacks today. Wow, Jalen Hurts, it's like a new show today. Wow.
Just some game winning drive.
So now, you rocking with Jalen Hurts. Okay, I like this. This is who he is. He's always been this, right? I mean, since he's arrived as our starting quarterback, as our main guy, this Jalen Hurts we've seen yesterday, that's who he is. Mm-hmm. Last year, he was doing the same thing, but people didn't want to believe it, right? Now, this year, even though he's having some slow moments, he's having these defining moments, though, to win these games. Yeah. Even if we're not playing at our best. I played ball, right? And I know how hard it is to consistently be good every single quarter, every single play. It's hard as hell to do. Yeah. And he has some times where he's not I guess, playing at his best. But he finds ways to win games. That's why, even with the argument of being an MVP, I can agree with it. Now, I will say this, though, because I am biased to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but I shouldn't say biased. I'm just being honest. But Tyreek Hill, though, was on pace to have 2,000 yards.
I know,
right?
he wasn't on his list.
And my thing is, because I see you had Tua up there, and I'm thinking, like, how can Tua be up there and not Tyreek? My thing with Tyreek is we might not see nothing like this ever again.
Agreed.
Right? And when he doesn't play well, they kind of struggle, right? And the cool thing is, even when he doesn't play well, he gets so much attention. I've seen, watching the tape on the Dolphins offense was very, very good. The way that Mike does all that different movements and et cetera. He's such a decoy that sometimes he's leaving guys wide open to get touchdowns. So when you talk about being valuable, though, because Jalen Hurts is super valuable to the Eagles. No doubt. Believe me. I need him there. I want him there for sure. But Tyreek Hill, even if he's not going for 200 yards or 100 yards receiving yards, his presence alone, I've seen Waddle get easy touchdowns. I see tight ends get easy touchdowns because he's out there. He's the decoy. And I know how hard it is to actually go out there and get 2,000 yards as a wide receiver. It's hard as hell to do.
Well, speaking of Tyreek and
it ain't never been done before.
And the Dolphins, now the Bills, after taking that loss, has given the Dolphins a 2-game lead in that division. Shady, you were an All-Pro for the Bills. You were an All-Pro for the Eagles. Yesterday's game, it meant a lot to you, and you know more about the players on that field than any analyst on television. On both sides. So then let me ask you this, because I believe the Bills have hit rock bottom. I do not think there is a more depressing feeling as a fighter, and football players participate in combat, than throwing your best punch and it don't knock them out. Josh Allen and the Bills, they threw their best punch yesterday. They played a really, really, really good game. You had over 500 yards of total offense. Josh Allen in that weather put on a show. He dazzled with his legs. He dazzled with his arm. Defensively, for 3 quarters, you locked the Eagles down. The Buffalo Bills threw, by far and away, their best punch, and yet they find themselves in the playoff standings behind Gardner Minshew, behind Dorian Thompson-Robinson, behind Kenny Pickett and an offensive coordinator-less team in the Steelers, behind C.J. Stroud as his rookie self. You find yourself in the bottom half of the pack in the AFC. I believe the Bills have reached rock bottom. Where do you stand on the Bills? Have they reached rock bottom?
Before I answer this question, when you watch this game against the Eagles, did you think that they would have that type of performance?
The Bills?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
So this is why I think that they haven't hit rock bottom yet. I mean, it's an uphill battle for sure because they're playing with a lot of reserves. Like, a lot of them guys are backups. A lot of them guys that's playing right now, when I was there, they wasn't touching the field. They were just happy to even hold the Gatorade bottles, right? So he is playing with a lot of guys that are a lot of injured, a lot of reserves. But I got to talk about this, though. When you got a guy like Josh Allen, you always have a shot in this league. Overall, yeah, they got a shot.
But with
you see 1-7 last night, you seen it?
With everything Shady just showed us, and it was phenomenal.
Ooh.
They lost.
They did.
Like, as much great
they did. Hold up. First of all, real quick, and it is my boys. They had the best team in football, the best roster in football on the ropes the whole game.
They did.
Right now, Howie blessed us with a guy like Jalen Hurts.
He did.
Right, in the game. So we win that team. But everybody don't have the Eagles roster. Everybody don't have Jalen Hurts.
No.
So a game like that where Josh had to be perfect, he might not have to be perfect next time. Maybe it's be 85% good, right?
Sure.
And they win that game.
6-6, James Jones. 6-6, Joy Taylor. 6-6. I believe this is rock bottom when you're behind Gardner Minshew, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The Steelers don't have an offensive coordinator, and they're led by Kenny Pickett.
They're gonna lose some too now. They're gonna lose some too now.
Y'all break it down to the left side. Is it rock bottom for the Bills?
Strong side. It's a Monday. I'm happy, baby. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say
Eagles
no.
win, baby.
I do not think it's rock bottom for the Buffalo Bills strictly because of the quarterbacks you just said. None of them better than Josh Allen, and I think that they are going to drop some of these games.
Yes, they will.
I truly believe that the Buffalo Bills is in a great situation right now. And what I mean by that, hold on, Shady, hold on, Shady.
Yeah, you said great.
Shady. Great situation right now because they're going to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to get in.
How do you believe that?
What's his name? Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Yeah, you see him
He's
play?
not taking Cleveland to the playoffs.
No.
Gardner Minshew is not taking the Colts to the playoffs, right? C.J. Stroud playing well, but I think they drop a couple. Russell Wilson could always go back to being Russ. So I think if they get to 9, 10 wins, that's going to get them in. But when you get in, you're going to have zero pressure. Josh Allen is going to be playing football, and everybody is going to expect him to lose, or if he loses, it don't matter because he's the 7th seed, 6th seed, whatever it may be. It's not going to be the pressure of being the number 2 seed, the 1 seed, none of that. It's going to be zero pressure for this dude. And I truly believe when he plays with zero pressure, he played lights out. I think this is a good spot for the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to get into the playoffs because these other quarterbacks in front of them, I don't think they're going to play at a high level. They're going to drop some games. Buffalo in, your Super Bowl pick's still alive, and Josh Allen is going to be dangerous to any one of these teams sitting at that 6 or 7 seed.
No, I can't say they've hit rock bottom. If they were out of the playoff contention completely, or there's no way, and they need 7 other teams to lose, and it's completely out of their control, then I would say yes. And look, it is still going to be an uphill battle. They've been inconsistent all season long.
Yeah.
But watching how that game went yesterday, that's what gets you inspired. That gets the juices flowing. Yes, it was a loss, but they played up to their competition, and that's always been their problem. They play up to the competition, they play down to their competition. They played up to the competition. It was my favorite game all year, and an absolutely riveting watch. Completely enjoyed it. And that moment that you saw with Josh Allen in that game reminds you of everything Shady's saying. We forget sometimes because they be playing bad and they be making these mistakes and they be losing to teams they shouldn't be losing to, that he is still a superstar. He is still somebody that we consider in the MVP conversation before every single year. There's a reason that the Bills have been picked for years and years in a row to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl or get out of the AFC. It's because of that, what you saw yesterday. Yes, they lost. They would have liked to win that game in spite of all that, and there's no moral wins at this point in the season.
Zero.
However, there was a lot going on with this team all throughout the year. You got players meetings, you got problems with Stephon and Josh, and then you got conversations about coaches and coaches getting fired. That was a moment yesterday that you can build on for the remaining of this season. And I think he has a point. I'm not going to say they're not going to have any pressure because it is still Josh Allen. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.